Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to take your sources and, well, really get into the details, uncovering the key insights just for you.
Exactly. And today, we've got just one source we're focusing on.
That's right, a single document. It's a job advertisement we found over on academicjobs.com.
For a talent acquisition consultant position.
At CQUniversity. So our mission today is pretty straightforward. Unpack everything this specific ad tells us.
Pull out the most important bits, yeah.
And really help you understand the opportunity, but only based on what's written right here in this text.
We're treating the ad itself as the primary source. What did CQUniversity choose to put out there?
Okay, let's dive in then.
Okay.
Starting with the basics, the snapshot view, what are the absolute core facts from the ad?
Okay, so straight off, it's for a talent acquisition consultant
Right.
at CQUniversity's Central Queensland University, and they actually highlight it's a 5-star university in the listing.
Okay, and location?
Yeah, specific, Rockhampton, Queensland, Australia. They even give the street address, 554700 Zero Yama Road, Norman Gardens.
Got it. And the terms of employment. I noticed it wasn't permanent right away.
Correct. The ad clearly states it's fixed term, full-time, and they're very precise. It runs until January 30th, 2026, so a defined period.
Okay, fixed end date. Good to know. Now, compensation always a big one. The source mentions the level and the pay range.
It does. It's classified as a higher education worker level 5, or HEW5.
HEW5. For people maybe less familiar, what does that generally signify in a uni context?
Well, HEW levels are standard in Australian unis. Level 5 usually means, a solid professional or operational role. Requires specific skills, some independent judgment, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. And the actual numbers?
The total remuneration package is listed as $92,834 up to $104,427 per annum.
Okay.
And the ad is helpful here. It actually breaks that down. It says that total includes the base salary, which is $78,446 to $88,243.
Right.
Plus 17% superannuation and leave loading.
Okay, wait, 17% super, that's quite high, isn't it? The standard minimum in Astoria is much lower.
It absolutely is. That 17% is a significant benefit, and they make sure to point it out clearly in the ad. It really boosts the overall value.
Definitely a standout point right there in the numbers. So, zooming out a bit, what does the ad tell us about CQUniversity itself, its vibe or mission?
It gives a sense of their core ethos. The source quotes an unbreakable belief that quality education, training, and research should be available to everyone regardless of background, location, or life circumstances.
So a real focus on accessibility and opportunity.
Seems to be, based on this statement.
And how does this job, the talent acquisition role, fit into that bigger picture, according to the ad?
Well, the ad places it within the People and Culture Director.
Okay, standard HR structure.
Yeah, and specifically, you'd be part of the talent acquisition team. It explicitly says the role supports that university ethos we just mentioned.
How so?
By delivering advisory and recruitment support services to clients like hiring managers, other HR folks, and crucially, candidates themselves.
Okay. So attracting the right people is framed as directly helping achieve that mission of access.
That's how the ad presents it, yes. Linking the function to the philosophy.
Right. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for potential applicants. What would you actually be doing day to day? What are the responsibilities listed under about the position?
The core function, as it's described, is coordinating end-to-end recruitment activities, so the whole process.
From start to finish.
Exactly. And it mentions the specific system used, the human capital management system, which is SAP SuccessFactors.
Oh, okay. SAP SuccessFactors mentioning that is quite telling, isn't it? Suggests a structured environment, maybe a larger scale operation.
It certainly implies working within a major enterprise system, yeah. Not just, spreadsheets and email. You'd need to be comfortable with that kind of platform.
Makes sense. What else?
A big focus is compliance, ensuring everything aligns with relevant legislation, university policies, procedures.
Standard, but critical in HR.
Absolutely, and advising hiring managers and HR colleagues on best practice for recruitment and selection. So an advisory component, too.
Sounds like it's more than just ticking boxes and processing applications, though.
Yeah.
Is there a strategic or creative element mentioned?
Yes, definitely. The ad talks about developing engaging, high-quality job advertisements.
The marketing side of recruitment.
Exactly, and keeping up to date on industry trends. Plus, and this is interesting, using data.
Data, so?
Using data to inform decisions on recruitment strategies, specifically aiming to find ways to attract a broader pool of candidates.
Okay, so data-driven decisions for diversity and reach.
That's the implication. Also proactively using existing platforms, like job boards, presumably, and social media to promote the university's vacancies.
So it's a real mixed process, compliance, advisory, and that strategic outreach and marketing piece.
Precisely. And the goals listed kind of summarize that blend.
Mm-hmm.
Improve recruitment quality and efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Deliver excellent candidate care, that's important. Focus on talent and diversity attraction, and build skills-specific talent pipelines for the future.
Right. So it's about filling roles now and thinking ahead. Gives you really good feel for the scope. So based on the language used, what kind of person does the ad suggest would thrive here?
It paints a picture. They use phrases like an energetic and ambitious professional,
Okay.
someone who enjoys working in a fast-paced environment. It also mentions needing a solution-focused individual.
Solution focused, right.
And someone capable of leveraging those digital platforms, like the SAP system we talked about.
Okay. Energetic, ambitious, likes pace, finds solutions, tech savvy. Got it. Now, we touched on salary and that great superannuation, but the ad lists quite a few other benefits too. These seem really positive.
They really do. The ad makes a point of listing them. First up, 6 weeks of annual leave.
6 weeks? Wow.
Yeah, and it clarifies that this includes the university's Christmas and New Year closure period. Still, 6 weeks is pretty generous compared to the standard in many sectors.
That's fantastic. Seriously good. What about personal leave, like sick leave?
You get 10 days personal sick leave annually, but also an additional 5 days specifically marked as carer's leave each year.
Oh, that's good too, having that separate carer's leave allowance.
It is. And then, of course, that 17% superannuation with choice of fund is mentioned again here under benefits. They really want you to notice that one.
Understandably.
Yeah.
Any other perks listed in the ad?
Yep. Quite a few, actually. It mentions fantastic professional and career development opportunities,
Always good to hear.
a family-friendly and supportive work environment, which is obviously a bit subjective, but they state it.
True.
Then there's 7.25 hours of something called engaged service leave. Might be volunteer leave or similar.
Could be.
Access to an employee assistance program, or EAP, standard but important.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, discounted gym membership and access to a fitness passport program.
Okay, so it's a pretty comprehensive package they're highlighting. Definitely adds to the appeal presented in the ad.
No doubt. It paints a positive picture of the total offer.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly. What about the actual requirements? The skills and experience they're explicitly asking for in the ad?
Right. Under position requirements, they break it down. Communication is key, strong written and verbal skills.
Makes sense for liaising with everyone.
And the ability to collaborate effectively in a team, plus build those relationships across the uni with stakeholders.
And managing the actual workload. End-to-end recruitment sounds busy.
Yep, that's covered under time management and prioritizing. The ad specifies strong organizational skills.
Right.
Ability to manage multiple tasks, juggle deadlines, which inevitably shift, right? And keep things moving on both the admin side and the client-facing side.
Attention to detail must be high on the list, too, for compliance and contracts and things.
Absolutely. It lists demonstrated ability in preparing documentation accurately,
Mm-hmm.
also interpreting data, which links back to that strategic point earlier, and taking ownership for high-quality outcomes. So seeing things through properly. Then there's policy interpretation and advice. This is quite specific, being capable of interpreting enterprise agreements.
The EAs. Key documents in Australian unis.
Crucial. So interpreting those, plus university policies and procedures, and then being able to give clear advice based on them.
So you need to understand the rules of the game, basically.
Pretty much. Those marketing skills we talked about, developing messaging, writing engaging job ads, that's listed as a requirement too.
Right, the creative side again.
And finally, being adaptable with technology.
Back to the systems.
Yeah, comfort working across various digital platforms. They list examples like SAP, Workday, PageUp, Microsoft Office Suite.
That's quite a few different ones.
It is. It
Love
suggests they value someone who's tech agile, you know? Even if you haven't used all of those specific ones, you need the ability to learn new systems quickly.
Okay, that paints a really clear picture of the profile they're outlining in the ad. So let's wrap up with the practicalities. How does the source say you actually apply?
Okay, critical info here. The application deadline, it's 11:59 p.m. Yeah, just before midnight, Australian Eastern Standard Time. On Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025.
Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. Got it.
Yeah.
Mark that date. What do you need to submit?
The ad says your current CV or resume, Standard.
Yep.
And a cover letter, 1 to 2 pages. And it specifies the cover letter should highlight your relevant skills, experience, and suitability for this position based on the ad.
So tailor that cover letter carefully.
Definitely sounds like it.
What if someone has questions before they hit submit? Is there a contact?
Yes, they provide one. Georgia Finnegan, there's a phone number, 07-4930-9155.
Okay.
And an email, g.finnegan@cqq.edu.au. They also give the job requisition ID, which is 6106. Always good to quote that if you contact them.
Good tip. Now, there was one final, really crucial requirement mentioned, wasn't there?
Ah, yes, very important. The ad states it quite bluntly. Candidates must hold the full rights to work in Australia. Visa sponsorship is not available for this position.
Okay, so that's a hard requirement. No wiggle room suggested there.
None whatsoever, based on the text.
And the ad also touches on the university's approach to diversity in applications.
It does. It explicitly states CQUniversity is an equal opportunity employer, that it welcomes diversity.
Right.
And it specifically encourages applications from certain groups, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and also CQUniversity's own domestic and international student graduates who have post-study work rights.
So they're actively signaling their commitment to diversity in their hiring pool, right in the ad itself.
Yes, that's clearly stated as part of their approach.
Okay, so let's pull it all together. What does this deep dive into just this one source, this job ad, really tell us?
Well, we've systematically unpacked the details provided by the ad, the specifics. Rockhampton location, the fixed term until early 2026, that HEW5 level, the competitive pay package.
Especially with those standout benefits, 6 weeks leave, 17% super. Hard to ignore those.
Definitely highlights. We've seen how the role connects to the unit's stated mission, the mix of responsibilities from process coordination and SAP SuccessFactors to strategic sourcing and data use.
Yeah, and the type of energetic, solution-focused person they seem to be looking for.
Exactly. Plus the clear application instructions, the firm deadline, and that crucial work rights requirement, all drawn exclusively from this single document.
It makes you think, doesn't it? This ad positions a role that's fundamentally about the process of hiring, the operations, the systems.
Mm-hmm.
But it frames it as being central to achieving the university's mission of access and diversity. How does the act of bringing people in become so tied to the institution's core identity in their own promotional material?
It's interesting, isn't it? The ad really elevates the talent acquisition function. It's not just admin. It's presented as strategic, as directly enabling the university to be who it says it wants to be.
Yeah, bridging that gap between the operational how and the aspirational why. It's all laid out there in the text.
It seems to be.
Absolutely. And look, finally, if this kind of role, human resources within higher education, is something that interests you, remember, you can find this specific CQUniversity job listing.
And many, many other higher ed HR jobs.
Exactly. All posted over on academicjobs.com. Definitely worth checking out if you're looking in that sector.